Beaucoup de dialogue et tout. Genre pour le mode... pour l'immerse, tu vois. Nique sa mère. Ta tête de lit. Oh. Vas-y, go. Je veux jouer là. Oui. Difficile. On n'est pas des martelés, nous. Yo, Sean, tu vas bien? Ah ouais. Ah bah 1910 du coup. Cake. Ouais.
Don't I know you, sir?
Don't believe so. I haven't been here in many years. Name's Silas Greaves.
Silas Greaves? The bounty hunter?
Used to be.
Ah, well, what are you doing here in Abilene?
Just passing through. Got a little business to take care of.
Well, sir, it would be an honor if you would allow me to buy you a beer.
Huh?
Hell, son, it would be my honor to drink it.
I'm Molly. Howdy.
Oula.
I'm Dwight.
Molly.
That's Jack and Steve. Ben's behind the bar.
Yo geek, ça va?
Oh, I bet you got
Yo
some great
Keizo.
stories.
Tu connais ce jeu?
Couple? Any of them true?
Jack, be nice.
A few.
Yeah.
What about your shootout
Oh, je
with
vais
Henry Plummer's
slinguer
dad
là.
in Bannock, Montana? Is that where you started as a bounty hunter? That's what it says in this here dime novel.
Don't believe everything you read in them dime novels,
Oh.
boy. First man I hunted was back when I was
Simulator.
riding with Billy the Kid.
Oh,
you
yeah.
knew Billy the Kid?
Damn right. That scrawny son of a bitch had no fear. Wouldn't back down for nobody.
I heard he collected the 10 stars off any crooked lawman who crossed him.
It was a war, boy. The Lincoln County War. And Billy promised his regulators would take the life of every bastard who helped bushwhack John Tunstall.
Kid had a big chip on his shoulder and a hair-trigger temper. Made him dangerous as hell.
Il est chaud. Putain, j'ai l'impression de regarder une série du coup. Ça va être encore mieux pour vous. Yeah. J'aimerais que ce soit une
It was
série.
about 30
Ah,
years
t'imagines
ago.
en vrai?
Billy was hiding out in an abandoned farm near Stinking Springs.
Ah. Merci.
I
Merci
threw in
bien.
with the kid because the man I had sworn vengeance on was
attends,
riding
juste-
with Billy's enemies.
Baisser encore un petit peu. Parce que bon.
But before I tell you why I
Ouais,
want that
c'est mieux.
some bitch dead, let me tell you what happened that day. I was heading back to the hideout when suddenly
Des
I had
vaches,
this funny feeling.
des cows.
Funny, haha.
T'aurais une série
No,
style
Steve.
samouraï?
The other kind of funny.
Samouraï Jack, mec. Mais je crois qu'il n'y a pas de série. Quoique. Je l'ai déchiré cet anime. Jure.
I knew those two
Tu sais que j'avais joué au jeu
morons
sur
never let
PS2.
me through.
Oh.
I had no choice.
Ça améliore votre personnage. Génial. On va gagner de l'XP en tuant des gens.
Was it Pat Garrett's posse?
Oh yeah. I heard the shots and I knew I had to move fast.
Oh my god.
Garrett and his army of deputies had surrounded the entire homestead. I decided to help Billy and the boys
Ok.
out. So that's just what
Ah
I
oui, c'est
did.
vrai. C'est pas du tout cheaté.
As the governor of New Mexico was paying for the kid's apprehension, Garrett was able to hire every gun hand in Lincoln County.
Tiens, mon gars. Putain, c'est un showdown là. Ça fait cartoon les bruits. Mais même les graphismes, hein, ça fait un peu cartoon. Les contours noirs là, tu sais, dessinés genre.
Garrett's men were running around like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off.
Faut mourir là. Ouais, un peu Borderland, ouais.
Still, one of them reached the water tower.
Ouais, je lui ai mis une balle dans l'œil.
Not a bad idea.
Ah oui.
It would be a turkey shoot
Oui, bah,
from up there.
esquiver des balles surtout.
Luckily, these shooters Garrett hired weren't the sharpest tools.
Putain, on court
in
vite
the
en vrai.
shed.
D'accord. Je vais reprendre ça. Parce que avant le stream, en fait, j'avais lancé vite fait la première mission. Et je pensais pas au final kiffer et... Du coup, j'ai lancé un stream. Oh oui. Ça m'avait manqué ça.
A lot of them were saddle tramps or sod busters or drunken drifters looking to make a few bucks.
Oui, on ne m'a pas du tout motivé.
I heard a friendly voice yelling at me from the window. Back door!
Bien vrai ça.
We'll cover you! Truth be told, things weren't much better behind the house. I cut their numbers in half, but that just made the ones that were left twice as mad. They made up for their lack of skill with a seemingly endless supply of ammo. It was a bit of a slog, but I finally fought my way around the back of the
Yo
house.
Yakuza, ça va? Slinger dans sa jeunesse. Je te jure.
And like that, I was inside.
C'est trop
None
vrai.
the worse for wear.
Ah.
I passed Dirty Dave.
Deader than a rat in a trap.
Pourquoi y a pas...
And upstairs, I found Billy
Ouais.
and Charlie Bolton.
Huh? You like that?
Yeah. Le frérot.
Billy looked at me and said, "About time, amigo. Grab a gun and get to the window."
Wait, so you were friends with Billy the Kid?
Yeah, sort of. Anyway, we were surrounded
Excellent.
by dozens of deputized shooters who wanted to do us harm.
Billy's worth $500. Get her alive.
I'm telling you, Garrett's
Oh, la
men were
doublette.
dropping like flies, but they just kept on coming.
Where the hell Garrett get?
That's when Charlie got hit. They're catching us in a crossfire, shouted Billy. Get to the other side.
Fuck off. Où êtes-vous? Bordel.
Where'd he come from?
Wesh. Oui, je connais Red Dead Redemption. J'ai fait le 2 en stream. Il y a un petit moment maintenant.
I don't know how many of those cocksuckers I personally put down, but it was pretty clear, even to Billy,
Ok, on se casse.
that maybe discretion was the better part of valor.
What's that mean?
It means that it was time to cut and run. They got a Gatlin, Billy shouted. Get the horses and bring them round back.
Ouais, voilà mon grand.
Those poor sons of bitches are done for.
He directed that order at me. And I thought, why the hell do I have to do it? Many would have fled in my place. But I had that false sense of invincibility that many young men have.
Tu calmes, mon gars.
Like Jack here.
What are you saying, old man?
Jack, he's just messing with you now.
Yeah, he better.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Greaves, please continue.
Totally silence, man. Now.
Bon bah alors
where
ça.
was I?
You were heading for the barn.
Right. Making my way past a passel of fallen foes.
Sounds like Garrett hired a whole regiment of hired guns.
Attends, ça recharge mes armes? Ah non, j'ai cru que ça rechargeait mes armes. Ok.
Yeah, and just when I thought I was done with them, more of these hapless bastards would pop up. Finally, I had the
Excellent.
stables within my reach.
Jake de fou, mec. Et il en a eu marre de faire des générateurs.
And that's when I met
J'en ai eu marre,
Sheriff
mec.
Garrett.
Attends, j'ai une compétence. Tir d'élite à longue distance. La mire ralentit le temps. Pardon? Prenez votre temps en visant. Quand vous visez avec les... Ok. Quoi? D'accord. C'est quoi ça? Première compétence, tu ralentis le temps. Trappeur. Résistance au combat rapproché. On réserve de ça. Capacité de munitions pour revolver augmentée. Ok. Combo prolongé. Bah attends, mais je vais prendre ça, c'est OP. Voilà.
I read that you went toe to toe with him, sir. That backstabbing bastard with that tacked on tin star.
Il a découvert sa vraie passion. Ah bah mec, là il est retourné d'où il venait, je te le dis. Et faire tomber son badge. Believe.
You challenged him to a showdown.
You read that in a dime novel?
It said he showed no fear as he took your measure with eyes like a rattlesnake.
Yeah. Ah oui. Oh putain. C'est trop bizarre. La sorcière elle est trop chelou. Ah. Ok. Oh baby.
And that you killed him in a fair fight.
Is that what that penny dreadful said?
Tu vas où, mon grand?
Boy, that ain't what I meant when I said I met Pat Garrett. So let me start again. I finally reached those damn stables. Stepped inside, and bam!
Fucking shit.
Last
Bro.
thing I heard was Garrett's voice. That's not Billy.
And go on. How did it end?
And, boy, that was just the beginning.
Putain, j'ai tout arraché, les gars. Arme favorite, six shooter. Bah oui, en même temps. Oh là là. J'ai été un génie, je crois. Et repens.
So what happened? Did Garrett arrest you?
Yeah,
Souvent.
after I came to, the bastard had clocked me with his Colt.
And the kid surrendered?
When he realized there was no getting out of there alive,
So they locked you up in Lincoln?
indeed they did. Sentenced me to hang right along with the kid.
Adieu. Mais non, mais elle bouge, vous avez vu?
It's important to know that I was only riding with Billy so I could find the bastard I was after.
Je suis en 11.
He was with John Kinney's gang, and they were sworn enemies of Billy's regulators.
Why were you after him?
I owed that son of a bitch a bullet for what he had done to me and mine.
Oh non. On lui devait une
Instead,
bullet.
all I got for myself was a goddamn death sentence.
Attendez, j'ai une compétence. Capacité pour fusil. Les pépites de vérité. What? Les pépites de vérité cachées. C'est des trucs secrètes. D'accord. Bah attends, en vrai, je pense que je vais maxer le pistolero. Je vais être vraiment un pistolero. Du coup, plus de balles. Attends. Rechargement rapide des revolvers. Vous chargez vos 2 revolvers en 2 temps 3 mouvements. Oh non mais c'est trop bien ça en fait. Je veux ça. Et ça? Rechargement en courant. Ouais non je veux ça. 50% plus rapide. Quoi? Ça a l'air incroyable, je veux ça. Je veux ça.
Luckily, it was right around then that I heard Billy make his move. He shot Jim Bell and a few other guards as he made his getaway. Later, they wrote that some lady friend planted a pistol for him in the privy. What the papers didn't say is that Billy helped me escape too.
My bro!
My first order of business was finding a firearm.
Oh, baby. Holy
Luckily, I
shit,
located
bro.
Deputy Bob Ollinger's mean-ass shotgun.
Qu'est-ce que... Oh non. On peut couper un homme en deux. Ah ça j'aime bien ça.
I saw Billy through the window, and he yelled that I should take to the rooftops to make my escape. So I did.
What the fuck, bro? Ouais.
Hell yeah. That scatter gun was like a double-barreled howitzer. It could blow a man clear off his feet. You hardly had to aim at that thing.
Ah oui, d'accord,
The
je vois.
kids escaped raised a huge ruckus.
Je comprends.
Guards were everywhere looking for it.
Double barrel dans le nez. Mais mon ami là, c'est... Ah, incroyable.
I had to jump from roof to roof like a damn alley cat.
Le corps. Hein.
I followed the planks where I could, but some of that wood was slippery as hell. The whole town was up in arms.
Huh?
And suddenly, I was a fugitive.
Je me casse. Ah, c'était pas par là, je crois. Genre on meurt. D'accord. Comment ça? Faut que j'aille où, du coup? Ah bah là en fait, très bien. Ce n'est pas très réaliste. Mais c'est parce qu'il raconte une histoire.
What did he do? He did me and my family a grievous harm. But I knew if I was ever going to find him, I would need to get my ever-loving ass out of there. I tried to be stealthy and sneak my way past.
J'ai récupéré mes flingues.
This town doesn't have a moment's peace.
Bon bah alors là.
But hell if they weren't all waiting for me.
Ah nice.
Apparently some of them thought I was Billy.
You hooligans can go to hell.
Ok.
That's it for you.
C'est OP.
See, me and the kid shared a certain similarity in build and color.
Huh.
I was
Oh, la
just
flûte.
glad I had Deputy Bob's mean-ass shotgun. Surrender yourself!
They're shooting in the street.
Ouais.
Get your heads down!
There's children here.
So much lead was whizzing by my head, it was like everyone in Lincoln wanted to put me in the ground. I knew I needed to find a
J'avais pas vu lui.
Though I never did have a great fondness for those four-legged grass eaters.
Tir
Smelly,
perçant.
sweaty, ungrateful beasts. We prize them too high, if you ask me.
Voilà. Ça s'est calmé. Y'a un mec là-haut. Ah non, il est là. Putain, c'est stylette. Ouais.
But where was the kid while you were busy getting shot at?
Gone. And that's when it occurred to me why Billy
Ah
said
oui, d'accord. Hein. Il est QTE. D'accord.
so
Bon bah.
I could be a hapless decoy and draw attention while he snuck out of town.
Ouais, ils ont kiffé. Wesh.
I knew
Monsieur.
if I made it out of there in one piece, no one would put a price on my head.
Because everybody in Lincoln would be dead?
Mais j'essayais de comprendre en fait comment changer d'arme. Parce qu'il me disait changer, mais c'est pas l'arme que j'avais. Ok, bon. J'ai compris. J'ai compris, il faut regen. Oui, bah ça doit être ça. Ouais, ouais, ouais. Voilà, DG. Voilà. Voilà. Ah, mais j'entends un mec. Ah, il est là. Du calme. Bon. Du coup là je peux ou pas? Non, je peux pas. Ça doit être ça. Ah non, là j'ai toujours le pompe. Ouais, c'est chelou, je sais pas. Oh bah vous kiffez vos games. Ok. Coucou Icar. Coucou Camille. Sauvo. Et voilà.
Finally, I found what I was looking for. The stable.
Attends, je peux recharger rapidement. Fais voir. Je veux ça. Ça va du coup? Oh oui. Oh oui. Oh oui. Trouver l'écurie. Ouais mais d'accord. Chaude journée et toi? Oh. Ouais il fait chaud aujourd'hui de ouf. Bah tout pareil hein.
Taking out Bob Ollinger the way he did.
Billy didn't kill Bob.
Sure he did. He dispatched him right after he shot Deputy Beck.
No, sir. Because Bob came right up behind me, angry as hell that Billy had lit out. Hello, Bob, I said.
Non.
I think you better let me go. And he says, I don't think so, boy. Not with my shotgun. So
Un
we stood
duel.
there in the middle of the street, eyeball to eyeball.
Duel time.
He intended to kill me, and I knew I had no choice but to defend myself.
Regardez la position de votre main. Ah bon? Comment ça? Ah oui, d'accord. Vous pouvez dégainer dès que vous entendez votre cœur battre. Vous aurez commis un acte déloyal et votre score en souffrira. Ah, d'accord. C'est pour ça qu'il faut faire un dernier moment. Je comprends. Bah. Je ne comprends pas. Frérot. J'ai tiré. En fait, faut cliquer 2 fois. Parce qu'on dégaine le premier coup. J'avoue que je comprends pas tout des fois. Je crois qu'il faut retirer en fait. Enfin, faut double... Ah, mais ok, j'ai compris. Oui, non, mais d'accord. En fait, le viseur il continue de bouger après. Mais ça, ils te le disent bien pas, hein. Mais d'accord. Oui, d'accord. En fait, le viseur, en fait, tu lock et après tu vises encore et tu continues de. D'accord. Soyez moins précis la prochaine fois, s'il vous plaît. Ok. Bon. La balle l'a traversé. On va y arriver. Ces arbilles. C'est trop chelou.
I killed him in a fair fight. Everybody saw I had no damn choice. Well, Lincoln got a mite depopulated.
Je comprends, c'est bon.
Pat Garrett gunned down Billy 3 months later, so his escape was all for naught anyway.
Yeah. J'ai pas capté non plus.
So where'd you go
Ouais, non, mais en
after
fait c'est un peu
Lincoln?
chelou.
Mexico. Until I realized nobody was looking for me. I ended up taking a job at the Rurales.
The Mexican Rurales?
I was hired to help them track down the cowboys.
En fait l'animation te fait croire que t'es en retard alors que pas du tout.
The most vicious outlaw gang in Cochise County? Curly Bill Brocious? Johnny Ringo?
Led by old man Clanton himself.
They must have paid you a pretty penny to take them hombres on.
Not really. But truth be told, I had my own reasons for going after those boys.
Oh, j'ai récupéré mon fusil.
So was the bastard you were after now riding with the cowboys?
Roscoe Bob Bryant was his name.
Oh.
But no, this time it was a different bastard I
Putain, c'est
was
stylé.
after. The aforementioned Mr. Ringo. I came upon them robbing a stagecoach, which wasn't surprising, being they were such murderous thieves and bastards. The bandits wore red scarves, so I knew they worked for the old man. Over there!
Ils m'ont vu. Ok.
I did my best to help those poor bastards.
Putain, j'en charge trop vite. C'est trop bien.
Moments later, the attackers were dead, and I checked the stagecoach to see how many passengers were still breathing. None. It was then I wondered if the rocks weren't hiding more bandits. Was that all of them? Or did I just hit the rear guard? I quickly got my answer. They attack from on high like Apaches often did.
Adieu. Oula.
They would appear in great numbers from above and rain down lead on their hapless enemies' heads, making use of the high ground and whatever else they had. Yep, the Apaches always appeared out of nowhere, and there never seemed to be an end to it.
Hold on. Were you attacked by Apaches? What happened to the cowboys?
Did I say they were Apaches? I said Clanton's cowboys attacked me Apache style. I was in a pitched battle, but I was holding my own against an overwhelming enemy force. See, at the time, I was still pretty green and would often blunder into regrettable situations.
Non mais c'est pas un pompe, c'est un... C'est une carabine. Je peux pas...
But I knew he was with the cowboys. He and Roscoe Bob had done me a dreadful wrong, and I was determined to have my revenge.
Huh.
But to get to Ringo, I knew I'd have to fight my way past these other assholes first.
Hey!
Unfortunately, I was running out of ammo. Another perfect example of my relative inexperience as a hunter of men. I immediately knew that a tactical retreat was called for, as my vengeful fury was much less impressive without the bullets to back it up. Finally, they managed to corner me. Trapped as I was, the odds of my survival seemed pretty slim.
Voilà. Elle fait un bruit de pompe. Tu trouves? Oui.
Serendipity was on my side.
Ah,
as I
d'accord.
suddenly spotted a way out of my predicament.
Ok. Ok, en fait c'était scripté. Je ne savais pas.
I ran ahead as if the devil himself was after me.
Il est bien ce jeu. Oui, il est marrant.
My ears, but I wasn't about to roll over and die. I just kept running like there was no tomorrow.
Il est très drôle.
Because there wouldn't be if Clanton and his men caught up with me. As I was scurrying around those caves, I thought,
Aïe.
What was I thinking? Going up against a gang like this.
Gros malade va. Aïe aïe aïe.
I just kept running, not knowing where the hell I was going. And that's when something miraculous happened.
What?
Like manna from heaven. I found the desiccated remains of what looked like an Apache warrior. The old weapon next to him supplied me with some much-needed ammunition.
Hein? Oui, bon. C'est pas du tout OP ça.
Bat Masterson once told me it was more important to be lucky than good. And he would know. And imagine my surprise when I found a fistful of dynamite to go along with that ammo.
Donnez-moi ça.
That stroke of good fortune evened the odds and bolstered my confidence.
Je l'ai en plus.
It was
Le
time
mec
to
fais-le, il est
turn the
marrant.
tables. Time for the prey to become the predator. Time for the hunted to become the hunter.
Aïe, aïe, aïe.
All right, Jesus, we get it. They were right where you wanted them.
That's right, Jack. I was done running. And the old man's boys were not expecting that. No,
C'était un duel à partie droite. Comment c'était trop bien en graphisme avec son équipement. Ah, j'ai pas fait gaffe. Ah oui, d'accord. Hey!
It was finally time for that old man to pay for his sins.
Viens là. Ah, c'est un duel encore? Mais il a une Gatling! Tu verras la prochaine fois en jeu.
I yelled out at the top of
Je
my
ferai
lungs.
gaffe.
Clanton, I'm coming for you. A little stealth might have made more sense, to be perfectly honest. Because that old fool had a Gatling gun and enough bullets to last him till Kingdom Come. But I knew I could not let that deter me.
Ah merde. Ah, ok, ça va.
Not if I was to find and kill Ringo. I needed to get that old man off that gun.
Je peux pas le tuer. Ah, faut juste que je m'approche.
Most everyone thought it
c'est
was
bon.
the Ruales who had come up against him in Guadalupe Canyon, but it was just me.
Wesh. Hey. Faut mourir, monsieur.
One of the cowboys made it out of there alive and told Ike and Billy Clanton that it wasn't a Mexican who took their father's life that day. They just assumed it was one of the Earps.
30-40 balles dans
And
le
that little
ventre.
misunderstanding eventually led to that legendary gunfight at the OK Corral.
Parfait. Ah, j'ai eu aucune pépite de vérité. Je ne suis pas un très bon chercheur. C'est moi ou ça bug? Je crois que c'est toi.
A few weeks after that dust-up at the OK Corral, I was still after Johnny Ringo. I had tracked him and the cowboys to their hideout at a sawmill, and they were loaded for bear.
So, what exactly did Johnny Ringo do to piss you off?
Well, him and that other bastard.
Roscoe Bob Bright?
Yep. They both deserve to die, and I promise I'll tell you why.
Earp's coming! Get ready, boys.
But first, I need to tell you about the Cowboys' new boss, Curly Bill Brocious.
Hey.
Curly Bill took charge of the Cowboys upon the old man's demise. And after that gunfight at the OK Corral, the Clantons wanted revenge. So they murdered Morgan Earp and grievously wounded his older brother, Virgil.
Ouais.
Wyatt and Doc went on what became known as the Vendetta Ride, hunting those outlaws down.
C'est qui me tire dessus là?
So when I showed up,
Mais
that's who they thought I was.
voilà, TG. Non, j'ai pas eu de bug à la phase de combat. J'ai pas eu de perte d'image ni rien donc. Oh non! Eh!
There were killers around every corner, all wearing red bandanas. But I wasn't about to let Ringo walk away unscathed. And that's what drove me forward.
They say that Ringo was infernally fast.
I hardly saw anyone faster, boy. Certainly not Wyatt Earp.
Oh,
That man was all hat and no cap.
Earp wasn't much of a match for him, but Doc Holliday might have taken him.
That lunger should have kept his nose out of it. They never charged anyone for the murder of Morgan Earp.
But everybody knew that Curly shot him in the back. That was common knowledge.
incroyable.
Yeah, maybe so. But Ringo
Ah.
had nothing to do with it.
Ah oui, d'accord.
He was just being loyal.
Ah, mais du coup, je peux plus avoir mes. Oui, non, mais demain.
Is
Oh,
that
moi,
what
ça,
you
toi.
call it? Being loyal. Well, to get to that loyal friend, I had to pass by some buzzsaws as big as a man.
Ah, mais je peux. Oh, mais c'est stylé. Hein?
Excuse me, sir. I have a question.
What's that, Dwight?
After old man Clinton
Dwight.
died, why didn't his son take over the Cowboys?
Because Ike Clanton was dumber than a box of rocks and
Je
a
crois pas qu'il y ait
yellow belly
d'arbalète.
to boot.
Alors, je sais pas, je redécouvre en fait là. Je connais plus. J'ai joué il y a très longtemps sur PS3 quoi à l'époque. Je me souviens de rien en vrai.
Now, where was I?
Taking down the entire cowboy gang single-handed.
Indeed I was, Jack.
Oh, bonjour. Ouais.
Somebody kill him!
Though it wasn't easy, as those boys had good cover.
Hein. Et voilà. Oh, let's go. Je sais pas, Camille. Aucune idée. Je crois pas.
There were carts everywhere, piles of lumber, and God knows what else for people to hide behind. That really was one hell of a sawmill. Quite an impressive operation.
And where was Curly Bill? Did you see him?
I'm about to get to that, Ben. Patience. I'm
What?
painting a picture here. There was this beautiful waterfall and a crystal clear stream
c'était
that
comme
led
ça.
to a verdant valley that was truly,
Consider your picture painted. What
C'est le
happened
même en
next?
fait.
well, finally the bastards that were still alive made a last stand.
Bon bah. Ah. Ah oui. C'est vrai. Le rainurage particulier du canyon augmente sa portée et sa puissance de pénétration. D'accord. Ah oui, d'accord, c'est OP ça. Agilité augmentée en concentration. Attends, mais je vais bien prendre ça et ça. Ah, mais j'ai même pas besoin de l'acheter, c'est direct. Ou d'accord. Concentrez-vous pour faire plus de dégâts. Génial. Vraiment génial. quick shotter. What the fuck? Ça a l'air incroyable. Bah vas-y. J'améliore tout. Ah ouais.
Curly Bill, Johnny Ringo, and his compadres took off into the lumber yard, and I followed after.
Oh non. Dans Ivrogne, il y a Rogne. D'accord. Je tâcherai de m'en
Are
souvenir.
you saying they ran? Cowardice was not in Ringo nor Curly Bill's nature.
No, sir. I never said they were running scared. They just wanted me out in the open.
Ouais, non, mais je sais pas en fait, Camille. Du coup, mais je crois pas. Je crois pas qu'il y ait eu de remaster. Non! Bon, j'ai abusé là. J'ai trop bourré. Oh, attends. Mais... bon. Suffit là. Non, non, c'est PC.
Brocious gave me no choice but to take his life. But Ringo was nowhere to be found.
I knew you didn't kill Ringo, because he was found dead in a different location altogether.
To this day, his killer is still unknown.
Indeed. Took me a few months before I finally tracked his ass to West Turkey Creek Canyon.
Pour du PS3, ça a l'air qualitatif. Ouais, bah... En fait, il y a un style un peu Borderland. Les contours des textures sont, tu sais, noirs comme Borderland un peu. Ah.
That's incredible, sir. I always thought that Doc Holliday was the one that killed him.
Et voilà.
Sorry I had to ruin the legend for you, boy. But the legend ain't always true. Doc Holliday had nothing to do with the death of Johnny Ringo.
Ça dégage.
I was paid a healthy bounty for Ringo and Curly Bill, and realized there was real money to be made.
Bon app Camille,
That's why I
visage.
went after Henry Plummer.
Now, wasn't he the sheriff who augmented his income by shaking down miners and robbing gold shipments?
That's the one.
Oh, yeah, I remember him. He ran that gang of thieving outlaws called the Innocents.
So it's true that you went toe-to-toe with him?
Indeed I did, son. Indeed I did.
Ouais.
I knew I needed resources if I was going to track down Roscoe Bob Bryant. And hunting Plumber looked like a good way to get rich quick.
J'aime trop les décors.
As the local vigilantes
On peut vraiment
exposed
les
him
tuer?
as the leader of the bandits.
Je pensais
And
pas.
put a generous price on his head.
J'ai un point de compétence. Redoubler d'attention. 50% plus longtemps. Quoi? Quand vous tuez la barre descend moins vite. Mais toujours plus, hein. Alors, vous avez 10% de chance de trouver un bâton de dynamite sur tous les cadavres ennemis. Oh, d'accord. Tu peux spammer. D'accord. Ah, ça c'est bien. Ça c'est bien. Putain, mais ça améliore le six shooter, d'accord.
Plummer
Attends, il y a tellement
rallied
de
his
trucs.
gang to plunder one last gold mine before making their escape. And that's where I thought I'd find him.
It makes me nervous standing so close to all these goddamn barrels of gunpowder.
Why would you be nervous? No one has the cojones to come after us. As long as you don't light up a cigar, we're fine.
Besides, George is up there on the rocks with that rifle.
My late father pointed out to me more than once.
Voilà.
God made men.
Aïe.
Samuel
Aïe.
Colt made them equal.
Qu'est-ce qu'il foutait là-haut, lui?
I knew
Oh,
that
oui.
dynamite wasn't mine, so I decided the polite thing would be to return it.
Bah, c'est là, non? L'entrée de la mine, c'est pas ça? Oh, what? Oh, j'ai bien fait de venir. J'ai très bien fait de venir. D'accord. Ah ouais, en fait, j'aurais pu passer par là. Putain, c'est marrant ça. Il y a plusieurs chemins pour aller au même endroit. Ça, j'aime bien. Sympa.
It was the
Et voilà,
biggest gold
Capita.
rush since Sutter's Mill in '48. Unfortunately, prospectors weren't the only ones drawn to those riches.
Aïe.
There were thieves and killers, robbing travelers and hijacking gold shipments.
Les
Like
Batacam,
those that ran with
ça
Plummer.
m'amuse moins.
Some were just
Ah oui.
regular folks I knew from town, drawn by
Pour la
greed and
réaction.
easy pickings.
Je comprends.
Charlie Crow, the blacksmith. James, who worked in the stable.
Il est où celui qui me tire dessus là? Mais ça va aller.
Jeremiah Barber, the butcher's son. Ordinary citizens who lived a double life. Stealing and thieving, and murdering his neighbors.
Ranger gravé. Ah oui! What the fuck? Ah ouais, d'accord.
Of course, the rest were veterans of the Civil
Ouah,
War.
ils font mal.
Stone cold killers trained on the bloody fields of Shiloh and Antietam. Plummer had a lot of men on his payroll. A hell of a lot. That son of a bitch pretended to protect the public with one hand while stealing them blind with the other.
C'est quoi
He
ces flingues
set
de
up a
malade?
defensive perimeter which I had no idea how to breach.
I guess you had enough.
Dangerous, desperate individual. I was outnumbered and in way over my head,
Wesh,
but I was too
il
damn
one-shot au corps.
stubborn and stupid to realize it. I thought I was some kind of hero.
Mais c'est bien OP ce flingue. Hein. C'est quoi ça? Ranger gravé. D'accord. Bon, le truc s'appelle Ranger déjà, je pense que ça en dit long sur le truc. Oh oui.
I finally made it past and headed on to meet my destiny. But first, I had something I needed to figure out.
Ok.
I had a few ideas on how to get into that mine, but once I made my decision, I knew there was no turning back. So my first thought was to enter the nearest mine portal. I saw an entrance. Made sense.
Ouais.
It was the quickest way in, but that also made it more dangerous, as there would undoubtedly be enemy pickets posted along the way.
Ok. Carabine c'est... Ah oui c'est le pompe.
Besides, once you enter a mine like that, it's easy to get all turned around. Some of those shafts could be as deep as hell.
Faut vraiment que je max tout ce qui est pistolet.
A
C'est bien
single
OP.
stumble or misstep can easily end in a deadly plunge to oblivion.
Leave him to me.
Bon. Ah ouais j'ai une notif. Ah ouais d'accord. Incroyable. Trop bien cette compétence du coup. Pour l'XP. Ouais mais c'est quoi cette zone de malade? Oui bon.
Quick reflexes often make up for a lack of common sense. Luckily, I was never one to be easily bushwhacked. I would just need to be careful not to blow myself to kingdom come.
Il y a des pièges. Ah. Une...
With all that gunpowder and dynamite everywhere, a body has to know what he's shooting at. All it takes
Ah
is
merde.
one tiny spark.
Ok.
Boom.
Ok d'accord. Fallait juste pas le rater en fait. Très bien. Je vois. Non. Rends-moi ça. Arrête. Ah ouais. Let's go.
One wrong bullet could have turned that mine into a dad blasted tube.
Non.
I freely admit that my plan of attack was not just moronic, but clearly insane.
Wesh. Wesh. Oui, bah voilà.
It's a good thing that I abandoned that ridiculous plan before I even tried it.
D'accord, j'ai pris un wagon. Je suis censé esquiver ça. Ah non, mais d'accord.
Instead, I spotted a ladder,
C'était scripté en fait.
a way into the mine from the opposite side.
Ouais. Ah.
It was a long way around, but that approach seemed more sensible at the time. Of course, being I had a problem with heights, that scaffolding scared the bejesus out of me. Climbing down that ladder required some caution, because even though I had a younger man's reflexes, no man can dodge a damn bullet while climbing down a rickety ladder. I needed to make a leap of faith.
Quoi?
Which ain't easy when you're suspended between heaven and hell.
Adieu.
I was determined not to give up, however. As Sheriff Plummer seemed quite the despicable character. When the vigilantes discovered what the sheriff was up to, people were outraged. That 10,000 they put on his head would go a long way to helping me find old Bob. And I had made it my mission to settle that score come hell or high water.
Ouais.
But first, I would have to make a choice. Take the elevator or climb the ladder.
Bon, ascenseur.
I picked the more convenient and more dangerous route.
Parfait, j'ai bien fait. Au moins je peux tirer dans l'ascenseur. Hein? Non. Ok.
Plummer was a mad dog killer.
Hey.
And the people of Nevada City deserved better.
Nevada City?
Non.
Well, I thought Plummer met his maker in Bannock, Montana.
Oui, bah voilà. Mais... ok. Mais oui, hein. Qui c'est qui envoie des dynamites? Qui envoie des dynamites?
Right, well, he was the sheriff of both places at one time or another, but that's neither here nor there. The point was, taking him down would save a lot
J'aimerais
of
qu'on en
lives,
parle.
including my own.
Adieu. Je fais des expérimentations, ok? Ok. Ah, c'était là. Ah. Non, non. Mais oui. Ouais, ça doit être ça. Non.
Henry Plummer was clearly unhinged, and I could see right away that this was gonna take some doing.
I'm going all medieval on your ass. Lucky shot. Bastard! No blood money for you today. I need some help here.
Phase 2.
Come on, boys. Take this cocksucker out.
Ouais, d'accord.
Just kill Red? Yeah, you know you can't beat me.
Ouais.
They're gonna bury you in a million pieces. You ain't taking me.
Dac. Mais dynamite. C'est quoi ce tricheur? Comment je fais?
They're gonna bury you in a million pieces.
Ah bah d'accord. Ok en fait. Ok, j'ai large le temps en fait.
I'm going all medieval on your ass.
Ouais, tricamé.
They're gonna bury you
Ça va?
in a million pieces. I can shoot cool.
Wow, wow, wow. Bah oui mec. Bien sûr. Aïe. Putain mais il fait mal ce connard. C'est quoi ce boss? Non. Non. Merci. Voilà. Calmé. Ouais, ça va mec. Mais ouais, je suis chaud. Je suis chaud. On est combien du coup? Ah bah j'ai tout récupéré. Parfait. J'ai tout récupéré.
So, did you finally go after that Bob feller?
Well, I heard word he was in Kansas with John Wesley Hardin. So
John
that's
Wick.
where I went.
Pas du tout.
Where in Kansas?
Abilene. Why do you ask, Ben?
No reason.
Was Hardin as fast as Ringo?
Ringo was fast, but John Wesley was as fast as the devil himself. Hell, he killed his first man at 15. From that day forward, he had a price on his head and wouldn't back down for nobody, not even Wild Bill Hickok himself.
Ouais. 5. Mensonge. Toi, moi, Trick et 2 copines. Hein? Mensonge.
I dodged death many a time, and that night in Abilene was no different.
Arrêtez! Mais pourquoi je suis déjà dans une fusillade? Oh, c'est quoi ce pistolet de fou? Oh!
I was there with the intention of finding that bastard Bob and collecting the bounty on John Wesley.
Wesh! Oh ouais, mais on recharge instant!
I thought the Texas Rangers got Hardin.
Yeah, that's what they want you to believe. It was cold and a witch's tit and a brass bra that night.
Je sais pas s'il est bien ce pistolet. En fait, il est bien parce qu'il recharge instant, mais...
To the very same saloon we're sitting in today. Look around and imagine this place painted in blood. Hardin was waiting for me, and...
Bon. Mais monsieur...
Wait, I'm jumping the gun here. Let me back up and give you some background on this sumbitch. He deserves that much. Don't you think so, Ben?
Ben.
John Wesley Hardin was a killer. By the end, he confessed to taking the lives of 42 men. He was a bona fide folk hero by then, and had amassed a gang of armed miscreants and other assorted thugs. He and his men set up camp outside of town, and I was hoping Bob was among them.
Shit, it's cold. God damn it! Shoot that son of a bitch!
They didn't ask why I was there. They knew. Most of them were wanted as well. I figured Hardin was here somewhere.
Ils sont pas mal du tout ces flingues, putain.
I'd have to get past his gun hands. I had to spill a lot of blood to find out Hardin wasn't in that camp.
Flingue de malade.
He was carousing in town with his closest friends. Hardin's boys apparently didn't want me to reach the Bull's Head. Some were hightailing it into town to inform their jefe of my unwelcome presence.
Oh oui.
Let the boys know we got another law dog.
C'est qui parle
I
là?
wondered if Bob was
Oh.
among them.
Down for cover! You better hide! Come on! Kill him!
Ça doit être ça. Ça doit être ça. On pompe. Je m'embelle avec du pompe. Un peu aux F-tiers. Ah, il y a un chapeau là-haut. Je le veux. Ah bah une échelle en fait. Voilà. Ah putain, les dégâts de chute dans ce jeu c'est une dinguerie. Dégâts supplémentaires en combo. Oh putain. Putain, j'ai 2 points à mettre. Ok. Zoom supplémentaire en visant. Retenez votre souffle et gagnez en précision. Ouais, d'accord. Six shooter incrusté. C'est quoi le flingue que j'ai là? Ranger gravé. Ah bah c'est ça? Plus de portée, recul. Ouais, d'accord. Et en fait, pour améliorer le flingue de base, c'est ça. Six shooter incrusté, ouais. Cadence, vitesse de visée. Oh, c'est pas mal, hein. Marteler pour recharger plus vite. Quoi? On va voir. Six shooter incrusté. Ah non, en fait, c'est... Ah non, en fait, on a une chance de la trouver. Ok. Du coup, c'est quoi que j'ai là? Ranger gravé. What? Mais... Ouais. Bon.
And I steeled myself for the fight ahead. For as good as I was, deep down I wondered if John Wesley wasn't just a
Ah oui,
little
d'accord.
bit better.
Ah oui, effectivement, ça recharge très vite.
Before I could test my mettle against Hardin, however, I would first need to dispatch his cadre of hired killers.
Génial.
Most of these degenerates were beyond redemption, but John Wesley might have been a different story. I didn't learn until later that that night was in fact his birthday celebration.
Ça marche avec toutes les armes en plus. Oh ouais. Oh la dinguerie, toi.
I think I already mentioned that I found Hardin in this very saloon.
You think you can kill me?
Y'a pas un secret quelque part? Ah, peut-être qu'après je vais ressortir vu la taille de la map. Oh! Six shooter incrusté. Ah ouais! Ah ouais, en fait, quand elles sont en or, c'est qu'elles sont améliorées. Du coup. Bah attends, bah du coup, je vais essayer. Ça me paraît bien.
Suffice it to say, nobody there was happy to see me. In fact, I I felt a certain hostility.
Oh putain, heureusement.
I was disappointed that neither Bob
Non,
nor John
c'est trop bien
Wesley
de...
were
Genre
among
tu
the
martèles
dead.
le rechargement.
But that was
Tu recharges plus
short-lived.
vite.
As a moment later, I was facing down the fastest gun in the West.
Oh non. Putain, mais j'ai des flingues en or, du coup c'est trop marrant. Oui, oui, ça doit être ça.
I felt a bolt of adrenaline. Or maybe that was
Le
fear.
mec il se met en mode...
He was well known for his tricks, and I knew I'd need my own if I was
Il
ever
bouge
to
pas d'un
defeat
poil.
him.
Quoi? QED pour esquiver. Quoi? C'est nouveau ça?
No, wait! You didn't hit me then. I'm sure of it.
Mais comment ça? Mais comment ça esquiver? Pourquoi je tire pas? Mais allô? Comment ça esquiver? Pourquoi je voudrais esquiver la balle? Ah oui, non mais d'accord. Ah oui, d'accord.
That man was faster
Ah
than
ouais,
grease
d'accord. J'ai
But being
compris.
inebriated as he was, he didn't count his shots. And now, he was at my mercy.
Ah, ok. Putain, c'est stylé. Mais d'accord.
So he didn't die?
No, I sent him to prison. Years later, after he was free, some restless Avenger took his life. Shot him in
Matrix.
the back in a saloon
Jure.
just like this one.
Putain, mais tu
Anybody
dois,
up for another beer?
tu dois viser en même temps que tu esquives les balles, wesh. C'est quoi ça?
Thank you, darling. Yeah, some say revenge is a dish best served cold.
So whatever happened to that Bob guy you were after?
Personally, I'd like to hear some of your other adventures. Like, I don't know, did you ever go toe-to-toe with a red man?
Grey Wolf. Yeah.
Yes, I did, Ben. I remember once I was after this renegade Apache, Grey Wolf. Strangely enough, revenge was also his primary motivation.
Hey.
A bounty was put on Grey Wolf's head, and that's how I came to hunt him in the mountains. Mountains so high they tickle the nether regions of heaven.
Ah oui. Ours.
Grey Wolf was a Chiricahua Apache medicine man who had led a war party in revenge for a massacre against his people. The U.S. Army had attacked his tribe during his daughter's sacred sunrise
Putain, c'est
ceremony,
stylé.
and the slaughter was unspeakable. I understood his anger, as there's nothing more traumatic than seeing those you love die in a cruel and painful death. Right from the beginning, I couldn't shake the feeling that Grey Wolf was watching my every move. He led a band of young Apache warriors who wanted retribution and were more than willing to die for him.
Oh. Putain, les décors sont classe. Je vais vraiment aller là.
They saw me before I saw them.
Eh?
And it crossed my mind that maybe this wasn't such a good idea. But now that the shooting had started, there was no backing down.
Aïe. Mais wesh! Ah oui. Calmez-vous. Calmez-vous. Putain, je vais passer sur le pont du coup cette fois.
They saw me before I saw them.
Ah, et du coup ça... Ok. C'est pas les mêmes. Ok. Hein? Oui bah. Esquiver une balle au cac. Ça me paraît bien. Qui tire là? Allez.
It was rugged country, the winter home of the Chiricahuas. And that's
Arrêtez.
why they had retreated there.
Aïe. Putain mais ils font mal hein.
I admit to having some regrets about going after them the way I did. But then again, I got a lot of those.
Je dois progresser lentement. Ouais.
Did you find Grey Wolf?
Not
No.
at that moment, but I did find the entrance to their hideout.
Oui, voilà. Aïe. Faut mourir mon grand.
A deep crevice that led to a deeper cave.
Don't tell me you went in there.
Ouais.
Yeah, but it's not out of bravery so much as pure, angry cussedness.
Hein? Kiffez vos vies. Putain, mais c'est Tomb Raider là.
See, back then, I had a stubborn streak a mile wide, and I wasn't about to back down.
So it was like pitch black in there?
Actually, it was pretty well lit, as they had torches on the wall.
Foudroyé. Mais de kiffer leur vie. Parfait.
How big was his cave?
Big as hell, Ben. Chiricahua had hid out there during the Indian Wars.
Le jeu est insane. Mais de ouf. Pour un jeu de cette époque, t'imagines? Je sais plus en quelle année il est sorti, mais c'est un jeu PS3 quoi. J'aime trop les décors et tout, c'est trop bien.
They thought it was haunted with the ghosts of those murdered by
Le jeu
the
est pas
horse
moche hein.
soldiers.
The cave was haunted with dead Indian ghosts.
Il a son style graphique à lui quoi. C'est vachement sympa.
To be honest, I was more concerned with the live ones than the dead ones.
Par où je passe là? Ça doit être là. Hein. Ah ouais. Oh, ils ont kiffé.
How come you know so much about engines?
A few years
La
back,
vitesse de
I was
recharge, c'est
married to
incroyable.
two Mescalero women.
At the same time?
Yeah, they were sisters. Polygyny is traditional among the Mescalero.
So what happened?
Oh, I had to get out of there. Those girls never shut up. Both of them nagging at me all the time. Drove me half crazy.
Ça pue ici.
Haven't seen them since.
No, I mean, what happened with Grey Wolf?
Oh, well, I pursued him into the cave of death.
J'ai une compétence à mettre. Ça c'est pour améliorer le pistolet rapide. En vrai je m'en fous un peu. Je vais voir pour améliorer la carabine. Ça c'est quoi? C'est le pompe? C'est pas ça. C'est ça que je veux. Fusil d'or, voilà. Ça. Moins de recul, plus de vitesse visée, plus de balles. Ouais, ça c'est trop bien. Alignez-vous aussi plus rapidement, vous êtes 30% plus vite avec n'importe quelle arme. Quoi? Ah oui. Incroyable ça. Trop bien. Oh oui. Oh oui.
I came upon
Ah, c'était
this
sûr.
flooded grotto, and that's when I saw him. He came to me unarmed and unafraid. His voice echoed in the shadows. And I sensed he meant me no harm.
You carry great darkness in your heart, and if you do not release it, it will claim your soul.
The sound of his voice put some kind of ancient Indian spell on me.
D'accord. Oh, flashback.
As his story unfolded in my mind.
Ah ouais,
You
non,
will
d'accord.
come to this place
Oula.
again and kill many more men, and the darkness will grow until it consumes everything that you are. The soul will have no rainbow. I have no tears.
He said I was a great warrior, a coyote man, unequaled by any other pale-faced warrior, or something like that.
The snakes will bite shadows of your past until a venom poisons your heart, and an echo of the song of the dead summons the spirits deep from within the mountains.
I didn't quite get what he was saying, but there was definitely snakes. And indeed,
Oh, c'était du bonus
these
pour faire des
warriors
combos.
surrounded me and attacked me like hungry wolverines. They couldn't stop me though, and Grey Wolf wasn't in the mood for idle talk.
Aïe. Ah ouais, je vise tellement plus vite, c'est trop bien. En fait, ce qui est trop bien, c'est que du coup, je peux relâcher la visée pour la reprendre juste derrière. Je pouvais pas trop faire ça tout à l'heure. Wesh! Qu'est-ce que... Ah oui, d'accord. J'ai déjà un point de compétence. Explosion de dynamite en plein vol. Pour avoir lancé un bâton de dynamite, votre arme suit automatiquement sa trajectoire. Oh what? C'est trop bien. tir en pleine tête améliore votre concentration. Chaque tir en pleine tête réussi vous vaut 50% de concentration de plus que la normale. Excellent ça.
I felt like I would be lost in that damn cave forever. Finally, I found myself back outside, perched on the edge of a precipice, overlooking a thundering whitewater river.
On va dire que tout va bien.
Several leaps of faith, but no way in hell I was turning back. I chased after him, determined to make him explain the meaning of all that mumbo jumbo.
Mumbo jumbo is right. Are you making this all up as you go?
A few details may be fuzzy, brother, but I am relating exactly what happened to me. There were dozens of Apache warriors aiming at me from on high.
Dozens?
Well, maybe not dozens, but there was a lot of them.
At least 3 or 4.
Well, more than that, little lady.
Aïe. Bon.
I had a steep climb up creek ahead of me and scrambled up those rocks like a mountain goat. I was determined to locate Grey Wolf and find out exactly what the hell he was trying to tell me.
Oh non.
Wouldn't you know it?
C'est un trap.
That crafty son of a bitch led me right into a trap.
What kind of trap?
Well, son, there had to be at least 100 Apaches surrounding me.
Ok.
100?
God be my witness.
Oh, come on. Who you kidding?
Hey, I believe you. Come on, tell us how it ended.
All right, but I'm not gonna drag this out. Where were we?
You were surrounded by 100 Apache warriors.
Well, I didn't take the time to count them exactly, but there were a lot of them.
Arrête. Huh. Aïe aïe aïe. Ouais. Arrêtez, arrêtez. Aïe aïe aïe. Eh oh.
And in the end, a path appeared before me.
Je sais pas comment j'ai fait pour survivre.
Before.
Mais j'ai survécu. Bon, en même temps, 40.
Desperately needed to find
40.
out what Grey Wolf was trying to tell me. But it was like that son of a bitch disappeared into thin air.
Oh le loup. C'était lui le loup.
Never did find him. And never did collect my goddamn bounty.
Parfait. J'ai été meilleur.
Thank you, darling. It's interesting how the truth can sometimes seem might malleable, depending upon your point of view.
Like how those dime novels make you out to be something you're not?
Jack, don't be starting trouble.
No, he's right. They do tend to exaggerate.
Did they exaggerate your part in taking down the Daltons?
Well, I was there in the flesh, boy, so I saw what happened firsthand. Those Daltons were lawmen once, before they all went bad, robbing banks and trains clear across the territory. Until Coffeeville, of course. I was one of the citizens who took up arms that day.
Fighting on the side of the riot?
I did my best, sir. We all did.
Putain, le jeu il est trop cool. Le jeu il est cool. Je veux bien. Pourquoi je peux pas? Ok.
It was early morning. One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody who'd take one. You see, the Daltons got it in their heads to rob 2 banks at the same time. 2 banks on the same damn street. Story was Bob Dalton's girl was always riding him about how he had no ambition. Oh, you're nobody next to Jesse James, she'd say. Finally, the bastard took his brothers to Coffeyville just to
Ah ouais,
shut her
avec
up.
ses flingues, ça sert à rien de marteler. Ah, du coup, c'est pas ouf en vrai. C'est mieux que j'ai des flingues.
Before they could get away, half the town took up arms to defend their property. Their first mistake was pulling a job in their own damn hometown.
Bon, ils ont tous des rapid fire. Oh non! Oh oui. Ok. Ouais, je suis lui qui lui, quoi. C'est ça. Ok, bonjour. Oh. Il y a un secret? Où ça? Peut-être là. Hein.
The brothers paid dearly for their stupidity, but everybody knows they had it coming.
There's more to it than that. I read all about that day, so I know for a fact that it went down very differently.
Oh, le menteur.
First of all, it was high noon. A posse of U.S. deputy marshals were on the rooftop across the street.
Get ready, boys. They're gonna make a move.
The lawmen
Il a un
had been
chapeau en
tracking
or,
the
lui.
Daltons for months. Now they finally had them dead to rights. Among them was a bounty hunter
mort, lui.
feared by many a lawbreaker. The marshals tried to get the Daltons to
Entré dans
surrender.
la banque.
They'll give up eventually. We just gotta wait for something to get down.
This bounty hunter knew that the brothers were far too proud to ever lay down their guns. He went in there alone to confront those criminals.
Ah.
One of the marshals shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Hey, where do you think you're going, dumbass? That right
Moi,
behind.
He
j'attaque.
saw a way to get around to the back of the bank.
Ah, d'accord.
Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they weren't expecting.
Ah bon?
From above.
Ah ouais, on va monter.
Fortunately, a water tower was right there. A moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did. It was brave men like him who risked their lives to tame this wild country.
Ouais. On va sauver la ville. Oula. Ça va pas, non?
We've got company.
Oh oui, mon gars.
Heroic men like him, who did what other men couldn't or wouldn't to make this country free.
Oh oui.
Like Jim Bowie and Davy
Is that
Crockett,
Silas
who
Green?
died defending the
Son of
homeland.
a bitch!
Ouais. Oh ouais. Ça suffit, les gars. Ah, j'en étais sûr.
Over there!
D'accord.
That's Silas Green. What the hell?
Blam! Blam! He came away victorious, taking down those thieving Daltons.
Ouais. Voilà.
His name was Silas Greaves. And when the dust finally settled, he was the last man standing.
Mais tout arraché.
Sorry, kid, but that just wasn't the way it happened.
Kid.
It was early evening, not high noon. The Daltons blew up a safe, and we're all set to hightail it out of there. I was late to the party, and Coffeeville was already up in arms. Those pathetic deputies surrounding the bank were dropping like flies.
D'accord.
I'd been tracking those jokers for months, waiting for them to do something reckless.
Bah d'accord, je prends une balle pendant la cinématique.
And finally, they did. Those stupid bastards decided to rob 2 banks at the same time in the same town where everybody knew them. But they still had friends in Coffeeville.
Ils se sont barrés? Ah non. Ouais. Ouais. Voilà. Calme-toi. Hey.
Those friends came after me like a pack of wild dogs, tooth and nail. They were coming at me from all directions.
Foudroyer tout le monde.
I caught sight of the Daltons running with the money and didn't want to lose them. Problem was, they knew the town better than I did. And to top it off, I found myself in the middle of another shootout entirely.
Did the Daltons hole up in somebody's house?
No, it was the Smiths, I believe. They were cousins of the Daltons. They were shooting at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons. Which wasn't any surprise, because those 2 families have been feuding forever.
Huh?
And since the Joneses are related to the Browns, they shot at the Smiths, pissing off the Heimhoffers, whose daughter recently married a Smith. Well, bullets were flying every which way as all the old feuds in Kansas caught fire all at once. There was a hell of a lot of pissed off people in Coffeeville that day. But that's just the way life is sometimes. Shit happens.
Shit happens. Eh mais c'est la maison du début on dirait. C'est bien la même maison. Ok. Attends, il y avait un secret, je l'ai entendu. J'ai entendu un secret. What? C'est en dessous? Ah ouais là. Ok. Ah oui non mais d'accord, en fait je vois pas du tout où est la maison de base. Je veux juste les chase.
The Dalton boys knew I would never give up. Those Daltons weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, but they always stood together. They set a trap to slow me down and allow at least 2 of them to escape.
Adieu.
The 3rd brother stayed behind to plant me, just in case that trap of theirs didn't work.
Il y en a combien? Ok. Oula.
It was Emmett, the youngest.
Oui bon.
And he decided to stand his ground and face me down.
Ouais.
Afraid of you, Silas Greaves. This is where it ends for you.
He was determined to protect his brothers. I understood how he felt. Taking me on all by his lonesome wasn't exactly a recipe for a long life.
Quoi? Ah oui, il rush en mode bas les couilles lui. Aïe. Aïe. Attends mais Ok.
But Emmett Dalton survived the robbery in Coffeeville. He's the only Dalton who did.
They say he was shot 23 times.
Well, Dwight, who do you think put all those damn holes in him?
D'accord. Mec il rush. Ça me...
But I have to admit, that boy had grit.
71% de précision, ça va. On a vu pire. Pourquoi je suis tag? Ah oui non d'accord. Merci Kik.
We'll get those suckers.
It took me a couple of days to track the Daltons down.
They can't get away with this.
And in that time, a whole posse of local vigilantes offered to lend a hand.
C'est des ennemis ça? Ah non.
We'll track him to the ends of the earth.
They seemed as determined as me to find those outlaws.
Attends, j'ai 2 compétences à mettre. On m'a dit que les ennemis derrière vous. Oh, c'est trop bien. Ok, et ça. Plus besoin de viser pour effectuer les tirs en pleine tête. En maintenant la touche A, toute votre concentration est consommée. En contrepartie, vous exécutez automatiquement un tir en pleine tête parfait sur les ennemis à proximité. Ah, d'accord. Ça va. C'est pas trop OP. Bah du coup j'ai le fusil en or.
But as we headed into those
Ouais,
swamps,
et attends, il fait
it
quoi?
was like I had my own private army.
Moins de recul, visée plus rapide, plus de balles dans le chargeur. Oh, c'est incroyable. Vitesse de visée et cadence. Et l'autre c'est quoi? Portée, recul. Ah ouais. En vrai tout est trop bien. Ça c'est quoi? Plus de dégâts, vitesse de visée. Oh, en vrai il peut être trop bien celui-là je pense. 30% de dégâts, c'est insane. 30% wesh. Ça, ça je m'en fous de ces armes là pour l'instant.
There was no way those boys were getting away this time.
Du coup là j'ai... C'est la cadence, c'est ça? Ouais c'est la cadence. Ouais c'est pas mal en vrai. Oh putain.
It was early fall, right? Beautiful time of year. At least you had the weather on your side.
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell.
Huh?
It was tough to stay on a true course, so we kept an eye out for landmarks.
Ok.
It was autumn. The maple trees were in full color, red as blood.
Ouais.
The rains that year were torrential, so the whole area was flooded.
Ah ouais j'ai pas droit
The
aux...
vigilantes had spread out wide, and pretty soon I couldn't see
aux
anybody.
indications. D'accord. Ah ça j'ai droit par contre. Cool.
Bury him in the swamp.
Hein?
Let 'em where they stand.
Except for some bitches ahead of me wanted to
quoi,
do me
vous?
harm, so I had to face them alone. I wondered why my compatriots didn't come running when they heard the shots.
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet, but I did have the questionable pleasure of meeting a few of their
Aïe.
friends.
Wesh. Aïe 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 aïe. Taisez-vous là. Et ces flingues ils font trop de dégâts, hein. C'est une dinguerie.
The boys had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause.
Aïe aïe aïe. Oh. Non, 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 non. Ah mais c'est lui qui fait mal en fait, d'accord. Ah mais il y en a plusieurs, d'accord. C'est des mini-boss en fait. Ouais. Ok.
And my reinforcements was nowhere to be seen. Point being, I was under serious attack.
Ça suffit là. Eh ben.
But luckily, a barn materialized as if right before my eyes.
What?
I scrambled up top to get a better view. But just ended up falling inside.
So, how did you get out?
The barn doors was open. About right then, I saw some suspicious characters running for the bushes. Of course, I followed them.
Oh non.
But that goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no goddamn idea where I was.
C'est qui dort là?
Steve? So I just started walking, and pretty soon...
Il s'est endormi. Il y a des explosifs partout.
Steve? Steve?
Huh? Oh, no, I'm listening.
Indians surrounded me from all sides.
Indians?
They were Indians.
No. I just wanted to make sure Steve was paying attention.
Ouais.
Now, where was I?
You were following the Daltons through a swamp?
That's right. See, Steve? Dwight's paying attention.
No, I'm listening. I was just resting my eyes.
So, where was I?
The Daltons.
Right. See, there's a reason so many outlaw gangs are made up of brothers. Being a brother is a very sacred thing. It's a bond like no other.
Bounty hunters! Stop that, son
So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Not yet. But I did find a few of their cousins. You Kansans breed like rabbits.
Oh, la dynamite qui me one-shot. Ce n'est pas sympa.
Bounty hunters! Stop that, son
So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Not yet. But I did find a few of their cousins. You Kansans breed like rabbits.
Aïe.
More Smiths or Heimhoffers or who knows what. But hell, what's more important than family? I bet Ben knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, il a kiffé. Aïe. Mais... C'est qui tire là? Ah mais d'accord. D'accord. En fait il était caché derrière une brique mais je le voyais pas. Enfin une pierre tombale plutôt. Une brique. Mais bon. Wesh. Qu'est-ce que... Non mais d'accord. C'est quoi ces shields de malade là? Il est... Aïe, aïe. Comment ça, mon bœuf? Ok. Super. Hein? Aïe. Mais... Fils. Ok.
I knew those Dalton boys were out there somewhere, standing together against anyone who would threaten them.
Le carabinier. Bon.
And that's when I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
A steamboat
Oh, stylé.
in a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps?
Guess it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern wheeler or a side wheeler?
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve? It was a steamboat with a goddamn army on board. It was then that a fusillade of bullets come raining
Oh,
down
c'est stylé ça.
on me. And those vigilantes who accompanied me weren't anywhere to be found.
Ah mais c'est une Gatling.
But among those men that were shooting at them, I thought I saw some familiar faces.
Hein? Il en reste un, je sais pas où il est. Oh putain. Il en reste pas qu'un. Aïe. Arrêtez. Ils sont où? Toi tu kiffes. Hey! Il est mortel lui. Voilà.
Somewhere up there, the Daltons were waiting on me.
Ah. Il y a un secret là. Ah ouais là-haut. Cool. Il y en a un autre. Putain mais leur bouclier c'est des portes de bateau en fait, je viens de voir.
Sounds like you don't give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am, Ben. I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature.
Merde.
Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
Putain mais ils ont que des quick shooters.
That's right. Run! kill Red?
Merde. Le secret là. Ouais. Hey! Ok, bon bah c'est là. Hein.
Right about then,
What?
much to my relief, the vigilantes finally arrived. Their leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit.
Genre le mec il est déjà là genre.
Well, it turned out that they had me.
Take him
Ah
out.
oui d'accord.
I'm sending you to hell.
Évidemment.
The Daltons had played me like a
After
fiddle.
all this,
Oh, les
The
bâtards!
vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me.
Oh,
They
les
wanted
tarbas!
to burn me alive. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth
Les tarbas!
proved to be quite a
It was
challenge.
a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Well, yeah, but I was in a
Did you hear
fight.
about that ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world.
You're
Well,
talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed big. I don't think it'll even float.
So anyway,
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the
No.
Titanic is unsinkable.
oh God,
But getting back to that steamboat, how'd you get off it, Mr. Greaves?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed
Arrêtez!
to finally disembark. It was time to settle this once and for all.
Oh oui. Ouais. Voilà. Putain, la sensi elle est... Ah mais y'a des mecs là. Ok. Oui. Ça dégage. Voilà.
The Grad weren't about to come at me one at a time. They were in this together.
Voilà.
Two brothers side by side,
Huh.
determined to take me down.
Quoi?
Confident that this time the odds were on their side.
Mais... Mais oui, mais bien sûr. C'est vrai que là... Je suis censé faire comment pour savoir là? Ah, mais oui, c'est vrai que je peux esquiver les balles. Ah ouais, mais d'accord, putain, il y a tellement de... Putain, c'est chaud les duels. Bon, c'est plus vraiment un duel là, mais bon.
They got it wrong.
Ok.
A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds. her old 14 years later.
Bah oui,
He
mais
moved to California
moi j'y ai pas
and
pensé
sold
plus
real
tôt
estate
d'esquiver les
to live
balles.
off the legend of that fateful day
Suis-je bête?
and the tragic death of his
Ouais,
two
par contre j'ai pas
brothers.
attendu qu'ils dégainent. Mais vas-y, ils étaient deux aussi, c'est bon.
My own brothers died tragically as well, truth be told.
Ah là là.
It was
De la 3 ça devient une
1868.
truelle.
Me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy profit running cattle into Juarez,
Pas
Mexico.
mal.
One night after my brothers retired
J'avoue.
for the evening, I found a little poker game in a cantina with a couple of cowboys. And I just couldn't lose. I even won an old Spanish coin that had to be 100 years old. Well, I was mighty pleased with myself the next morning as my brothers and I rode for Texas. But before we crossed the border, those cowboys caught up with us. It was Johnny Ringo, Roscoe Bob Bryant, and another asshole named Jim. They wanted their money back and everything else we had, including our lives, as those boys didn't want us coming for them later. Bob put that old Spanish coin in my mouth and said, "I won't have it said that I left you with nothing, boy." Well, those horses bolted, and there we hung as those bastards rode away. The branch finally snapped under the weight of the three of us, but being my older
Les
brothers
travaux
were
ça me
bigger and
réussit
heavier,
pas.
they were already dead. And right then I swore to myself that I would avenge them. Ringo you know about. But Bob eluded me until I heard he was riding with the Wild Bunch.
Ah. Oh non. Oh non. Ça se passe bien d'ailleurs?
I'd been on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains. Led by Butch Cassidy, they were a loose association of outlaws who robbed banks and trains from Colorado to Montana. Among them was the Sundance Kid, and that murderous hombre I was tracking,
J'aime trop les
Roscoe
décors
Bob
comme ça.
Bryant.
Were you a part of that giant Pinkerton posse after the Wild Bunch?
No, boy. A circus like that would have slowed me down. Besides, I wanted Bryant all to myself. I'd heard about a large shipment of gold being transported to Wilcox, Wyoming on the Overland Flyer. I figured the Wild Bunch would likely hit such a treasure, and by God, I figured right.
Oh
They
shit.
blew the bridge with the intention of forcing the train to stop. Well, I assumed the Wild Bunch was likely in the still intact part of the train high above. So I had no choice but to make my way up through the passenger cars dangling down. I was determined to make that sumbitch Bob pay for what he did to my brothers.
Dire que je me lève dans 6 heures pour une sortie du gamin, je dois l'accompagner à l'école pour 7 heures. Oh ah, tu vas être éclaté. Oh oui. Ah c'est quoi ça?
I found the device they used to blow the tracks, so I knew I was headed in the right direction.
Ah.
My ears are still ringing from blowing up that bridge.
What'd you say? I can't hear a goddamn thing.
Well, I made my way off unscathed and came upon a few members of the gang and had no choice but to dispatch them. From there, I had to negotiate an even more precarious route.
What? Hein?
But first, I would need to get my ass out of there.
Attends, il me faut le truc pour recharger en courant. Ah mais c'est ça. Fuck. Fuck bro. Bon vas-y, c'est pas grave.
I jumped from the frying pan into the fire as the train was clearly fixing to fall. I found the gang, but in order to find old Bob, I needed to fight my way forward past a whole passel of desperados.
Desperados.
Outside, inside, any way I could, I made my way towards my prey.
Oh, j'ai tiré dans la balle. Incroyable.
Well, what about the passengers?
It was mostly a freight train, as I recall. There were no passengers aboard that day.
Kiffe ta vie, toi.
As I mentioned before, I am not fond of heights. But I was too busy dodging bullets to worry about falling to my death. Odds were I was likely to die that day anyway. So I was determined to take down as many of those bastards as I could.
Putain, les flingues dorées, quoi. Ça, c'est pas classe.
At times, it was like shooting ducks in a shooting gallery. The only difference is these damn ducks shot back.
Wouah, ils ont kiffé. Ouais, ils ont kiffé leur game, hein. Je suis tombé sur une fissure de 2,50 m de long, je dois plâtrer ça demain. What? C'est pas très rassurant, ça.
I kept hoping the law would show up and give me a
You
hand.
mean like that giant Pinkerton posse that I read about? Did they come riding in, guns a-blazing to help?
Où est la modération? Oh. Elle est laid, bro. Elle est laid.
Help? From the Pinkertons? No, son. I had to fight the wild bunch all by my lonesome. As usual.
Comme d'habitude, on est tout seul.
Who the hell is that?
Bon bah. Sum.
Retreat! Retreat! He's killing everybody! He'll kill us all! You ready for a belly full of...
Merde. Ok. Il y a un secret là-dedans. Yo. Ouah. Enfin trouver un jeu qui t'intéresse au moins. Oui. Mais je sens que... Je sais pas combien de pourcents j'en suis du jeu. C'est un jeu court, ça je le sens. Ouais, je pense aussi. Ah merde, c'est où? Chasser le White Branch. Ah! Quoi? Mais frérot. Ah, mais j'avais pas vu la porte à cause de son cadavre.
My guess is those dime novels didn't portray this as it happened, did they?
Oh putain.
Only a few stragglers were left. I had to cut them down pronto if I was gonna stay on old Bob's trail.
Ouais. 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 Oh, 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 oh. Mais il a combien? voilà.
silenced all those guns, I went searching for my nemesis, determined to
Ce jeu, mais je
finally
l'ai
have
jamais
my
lancé.
justice. But the only survivor who welcomed me was George
Mais
Flatnose
lance-le.
Curry.
Who was he?
Moi, ça faisait
The
un moment que je l'avais, mais
fastest
je l'ai
gun in
jamais
the
lancé.
gang,
Oh putain, putain,
right
putain.
after Sundance, I mean. And Kid Curry, and maybe Elsie Lay,
5 heures l'histoire principale.
though some folks might dispute that.
Oui, bon. On doit être vers la fin. Ah d'accord. En vrai, je comprends pas les duels. Genre, en fait, je comprends pas pourquoi. En fait, quand tu cliques, c'est bien, le cercle se lock. Et alors? Je comprends pas en fait. En fait, j'ai envie de le tuer à la loyale. Je pourrais le tuer avec les battements, mais j'ai envie de comprendre. Peut-être qu'il faut que je dodge la balle. Ah ouais, c'est ça.
On that very same day, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid decided to leave the
En fait,
Wild
c'est
Bunch
ça, je vais dodge à
behind
chaque fois, nique sa
and
mère.
decamped for South America.
Le Bod in Blood, c'est lequel celui-là, je sais plus. Mais c'est même pas celui-là d'ailleurs que j'avais fait sur PS3. C'en est un autre. Je sais plus lequel c'est. De souvenir, on pouvait jouer. En fait, on jouait deux frères. Et on choisissait en fait. Soit on avait un frère plus bourrin qui pouvait jouer avec des pistolets akimbo. Soit un plus stratégique. Il avait un fusil et un lasso. Je me souviens plus lequel c'est.
Sometime later, I heard the Wild Bunch was back together. Kid Curry escaped from jail, and now he was running the whole shebang. So I took to their trail, as I was still in pursuit of my brother's killer and
Bon,
hoping he
peut-être
was
pas dans
back
10
with
minutes
him.
quand même.
That Kid Curry's kinda crazy, ain't he? Don't let him hear you saying that.
Anyways, I tracked those boys to a camp right outside Parachute, Colorado. Being outnumbered, I didn't bother with a warning shot. I just started taking those bastards down. Old Bob wasn't among them, and neither was Kid Curry. I could sense him close by, however, plotting something nasty. I just needed a clue as to their whereabouts.
Nice. Oh, who's non, c'est pas ça que je veux.
And I found one. A map with their bold plan clearly marked. This time they were fixing to blow up a train trestle. Property of the Union Pacific.
Parfait.
The plan clearly indicated how they were fixing to undermine several of the weakest wooden supports.
Excellent. Faire péter le train.
Kid Curry was considered the wildest of the Wild Bunch. It was said that he fathered 85 bastard children, though some say it was only 5. Kid Curry had bragged to a whore how he was gonna rob a train heading to the U.S. Mint in Denver. And that whore, Fat Sally, she told me. The bridge was rigged with dynamite, so I decided I'd best be careful confronting those bastards.
Désamorcer l'explosif. Ah.
And I made it a point to remove any dynamite that I came across. A moment later, I saw a ladder that somehow had escaped my attention.
Don't you blow us up now. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing.
C'est qui parle là? Ah, c'est lui. Ah putain, ouais. D'accord.
But the Wild Bunch did not take kindly to my presence and attempted to blow my head off. It appeared the kid had found a number of new recruits to bolster their ranks. Guess there's always desperate men willing to trade their lives for stolen treasure.
What happened next?
Well, having removed the first bundle of dynamite, I decided I might as well remove the other one.
D'accord.
Once that was done, I figured I'd find my way from there.
Hein? Hein? Bon, on va se calmer. Ouais.
So, what happened then?
Ok.
I had to remove more of that damn dynamite.
Bon, lui, il a mangé.
It must have been terrifying trying to make your way across.
I was sweating it a bit, but then I noticed a footbridge tied up on high, so I shot the rope.
Ah. Je comprends. Ah. Cool. Aïe.
Now you're really pissing me off. What in tarnation?
So that was all the
Tout
dynamite?
démolir.
Funny you should mention that, darling. As actually there was a fourth charge impeding my progress.
Mais wesh.
Once I removed it, my path was pretty clear.
Aïe aïe. Putain, y a plein d'ennemis là, c'est trop bien. Je passe ma vie en akimbo, j'ai rien à foutre.
So I proceeded onward
Ok.
and realized that that way just wasn't gonna work.
50% plus longtemps. Quand vous l'utilisez, la barre descend moins vite. Oh, c'est trop bien ça. Donne. Ok. Et là j'ai rien mis. Résistance au combat rapproché. Vous devenez plus résistant en moyenne. Une balle sur 4 d'une arme courte ricoche sans vous faire mal. D'accord. Ça m'a l'air bien baleine ce truc.
I needed an alternate path forward.
Hey. C'est au-dessus. Je pense que c'est au-dessus. Utiliser. Ah, j'ai pas vu. What the fuck, mais attends, mais... Je crois que c'est pas par là. What? C'est pas par là, là. Ah bah là non. Ouais.
Luckily, I found a cave, and as I made my way back to the bridge, I saw something that concerned me. It was a long burning fuse, and it was moving fast as hell. I had to catch it.
Mais oh. Oui d'accord, faut que je suive la mèche.
The burning fuse was so damn quick. I had
Arrête.
to run like the wind. I almost had it, but no. Thought I was gonna have a coronary when I lost sight of those sparks. My heart was pounding like a sledgehammer.
Mais d'accord, hein, Speedy Gonzales, hein.
Get off the bridge!
I knew that failure meant boom. Then, finally, at the last moment. Whew. Of course, I was successful, or clearly I wouldn't be talking to you folks here today. Naturally, I removed the last dynamite charge. Well, it was a touching reunion.
Très bien.
But by this time, I was thoroughly exhausted and dragging my ass, as I was not a young man.
What the fuck? Ok.
Kill that SOB!
Non.
Finally, I found those boys. Or more precisely, they found me.
Aïe.
Kid Curry asked me! Nuttier than a damn fruit!
Non. Ok.
Put a bullet in him!
Just when I thought things couldn't get worse, Kid Curry opened up on me with a goddamn Gatling gun. It was hidden in this tunnel and pretty well shielded.
Ça ne s'arrête jamais. Kid Curry. D'accord. Ça promet. Oula. Ben oui, mais...
Luckily, I had located some dynamite. I still, however, had my work cut out for me.
It's not fair!
Aïe. 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 Arrêtez. Ah. Putain mais je dois... Attends mais je dois prendre la dynamite back à chaque fois. C'est chelou un peu. Okay.
Like this cocksucker! Move it, boys!
Je peux m'approcher, non? Ah ouais non, y'a rien. J'ai plus de dynamite. Ok. Aïe. Peut-être que je peux m'approcher encore plus, genre. Wow! Sors d'où toi? Bon bah toi t'as kiffé.
Eventually, I brought that tunnel down.
What?
And that's when I met Kid Curry himself.
Mais
He
d'accord.
had decided to stop pussyfooting around and deal with me personally.
Kiffe ta vie. Oh! D'accord. Mais attends, mais il est pas mort de... D'accord. Le mec il s'est prend un tunnel dans la tête et il meurt pas.
As fast as he was,
Ouais.
I was just a bit faster. And as he lay wounded, I demanded to know the whereabouts of Roscoe Bob Bryant. He shouted at me. Is that what this is about? Bob went with Butch and Sundance to South America. You ain't never finding him.
Oh non. Ah. Mais plus rapide. Ok frérot. Le pire c'est que j'ai dodge, juste pas du bon côté.
Is that what this is about?
Bah GG.
Bob went with Butch and Sundance to South America. You ain't never finding him.
Mais j'ai dodge là quand même. Mais...
He shouted at me.
Hmm.
Is that what this is about? Bob went with Butch and Sundance to South America. You ain't never finding him.
Les... D'accord.
Those were his last words.
Toujours plus hein les... les dodge. Ouais.
So, Bob Bryant got away?
I knew I'd never find him in South America.
What about the other killer?
Yeah, you kind of glossed over that one.
Well, I found Jim not long after my showdown with Ringo. At the time, he was riding with the James Younger gang. Did I neglect to mention that?
Jesse James? The greatest outlaw who ever lived?
Jesse and his kin rode with Quantrill when he raided Lawrence, Kansas, and killed near 200 people, boy.
Nothing great about that.
And from there, him and his brother went on to rob banks and trains from Kansas to Missouri.
Which is why there was such a rich bounty on their heads. 40 grand for both of them, dead or alive. That's one hell of a payday.
Hey. Ok, ça commence bien.
Bullets were flying at me from every which way. But I knew I'd have to fight my way forward if I was gonna find this Jim.
Stylé.
Now wait a second. How'd they stop this train in the first place?
Well, the James boys were experts at this.
Ah. Oui, ça doit être ça.
They hopped a freight
Bonne nuit,
train,
Car.
having
Merci d'avoir
heard
été là.
there was a big payroll
Bon courage pour demain, du
express
coup.
safe. So I hopped the same train.
Des visages.
The James Younger gang was decimated after that little fiasco they had in Northfield, Minnesota. So Jesse needed more men and took on the killer I was after, along with a host of others. I was hoping to find my man and put a bullet in his head. Climbing around that train, I must have swallowed 100 damn bugs before I
The
reached
James
that...
Younger gang pulled the first train robbery west of the Mississippi.
Sounds like you hold them in high regard.
Everyone knows they were the most famous outlaw gang ever.
And you took them all on by your lonesome. Again. I'm finding this all a little hard to swallow, friend.
Well, maybe you need to wash it down with some whiskey. By the way, did I mention that that train was flying down those tracks like a bat out of hell?
Putain, c'est trop stylé.
I'm gonna blow your damn head off. Give us my
Anyway, excuse me, Ben. Where would I find the gentleman's facilities? Suddenly I have an urgent need to drain my one-eyed snake. Well, I've had more than a few drinks, and I've been sitting here for quite a spell.
Right through there. Let me show you.
Ah ouais, vraiment, on va aux toilettes.
I never heard so much malarkey in my life.
You think he's bullshitting us?
You don't think he's Silas Greaves?
I think he's just some old drunk looking for some free liquor.
Hey, il me traite de menteur.
I don't know, Jack. I think I believe him. You don't think he met Jesse James?
Boy, you gotta be kidding me. That story makes no sense at all.
Jack.
I mean, you gotta be 2 bricks short of a load to believe that cock and bull story.
I don't agree.
Jack, lay off the
But you
bar.
seriously think that tired old man went toe to
C'est que les
toe
mêmes
with
wagons, je
Jesse
crois. Ah non, même pas.
James?
Well, that's better. Did I mention that this Jim was married to the infamous Belle Starr? Of course, I didn't learn that until later. Anyway, I made my way forward the best I could. Around the sides, over the roof. At some point, some sumbitch saw me and shouted out, "It's the damn Pinkertons!"
It's a damn Pinkerton!
Now, I never worked for that limey cocksucker, but I guess they assumed I was one of his assassins.
Bien.
Those evil bastards firebombed Jesse's mother's house and killed his stepbrother. So it's no wonder each and every asshole on that train wanted me dead.
Everybody's always mistaking you for somebody else, aren't they? Why is that, I wonder?
Don't rightly know, Jack. I'm just telling you how I remember it.
I bet you are.
Bah. De corps, j'ai mis un coup de cac. Le mec il me tue. Le menteur. Eh coucou mais mon ami. Ça va ou quoi? Attends mais... Ah oui. J'ai réussi à mais Twitch me donne pas l'alerte, du coup tu le tues. Oh. Merci pour le resub du coup. Mon vieux. J'espère que tu vas bien.
I came across a flat car piled high with logs and had to come up with a creative way to make my way forward.
Arrêtez.
I wondered if I was ever going to find the front of that train, or the bastard I was after. Right about
Gatling.
then, I was
Oh non.
attacked by some asshole on a
Oh
Gatling
putain
gun.
oui, d'accord.
Yeah, seems like you run into a lot of them.
Asshole?
Gatling guns.
Yes, I did. Now, I don't remember how I took it out. It was either a bullet or dynamite.
Where would you find dynamite?
Does it really matter, Jack? You're messing with the flow of the story here.
Alors. Cet accent de dieu du Texas. T'as vu ça, mec? Ah d'accord. Kiff. Mais oui, mais c'est un FDP. C'est pas grave. Je n'ai rien à foutre, gros. Ah. En fait, j'aurais juste pu faire ça. Je pensais pas. Est-ce que je peux la retourner? Excellent. Voilà. Ah, c'est stylé ça. Mourrez.
I was looking for Jim and shooting any son of a bitch stupid enough to get in my way.
Ouais.
And that included Jesse James himself.
Hey.
There sure were a lot of men determined to die that day.
Foudroyé. Oula.
It was then that Jesse detached the express car from the rest of the damn train. I could see Jesse waiting for me, fixing to kill me so he could get away with all
What?
that money.
Il est où? Il est où Jesse James là?
You had a showdown with Jesse James?
Of course he didn't. Everybody knows that Jesse was killed by Bob Ford.
Yeah. Jesse went out like John Wesley Hardin. Coward shot him in the back of the head.
Guess it doesn't matter how far you run, does it, Ben? Your past always catches up with you.
Mouah.
Didn't kill Jesse James. Just wounded him bad enough to convince him to hang up his guns.
What about that Jim fella? What happened to him?
I figure he was up front with a gun to the engineer's head. That bastard slipped away again. I'll tell you how I got him. But first I need to wet my whistle.
Humecter le gosier. Sumecter le gosier. Et ben celle-ci.
After my showdown with Jesse, I continued to track his brother, Frank, and that son of a bitch Jim. I followed those bastards into the high mountains as they were going to ground.
What mountains would that be?
Somewhere in the Ozarks, I believe. The perfect place to hide out from the authorities. In
Excellent.
fact, before I could find them, some Indians who fled the res and were hiding out from the military found me first. They probably thought I was a cavalry scout and didn't want me telling the military where they were.
Engines?
Yeah, they could have been Cheyenne, but there was all sorts of renegades roaming the landscape back then.
Je ne m'arrêterai pas.
Hey,
Et voilà.
how about another whiskey, Ben? Nothing better to soothe the troubled soul.
Ah.
Now, where was I? Indians, right. I had more than my share of run-ins with the Red Man. Like that time...
Oh, oui.
Did I tell you about Grey Wolf?
Yes, sir.
Of course I did. In fact, I could still remember that old medicine man's words to me.
Jesus Christ, we're back to that again.
You carry great darkness in your heart. It will claim your soul.
Ah ouais, on est revenu là en fait, d'accord.
You will come to this place again and kill many more men.
Ah. Putain.
And the darkness will grow until it consumes everything you are.
Comment ça? What the fuck? C'est infini? Aïe. Aïe.
So, did you ever find it? Who? The
Il faut mourir
man
là.
you were after.
Let me ask you something, Ben. Do you ever think about death?
Mr. Graves, are you all right?
Oh, death. Oh, death. Won't you spare me over till another year?
Oh, la musique de fou!
What is this that I can't see with ice cold hands taking hold of me? Oh, death.
La musique de fou!
Oh, death, won't you spare me over till another year? Well, I am death, none can excel. I'll open the door to heaven or hell. Oh, death, someone would pray. Could you wait to call me another
C'est stylé.
day?
Ah. Oui.
Oh, death, won't you spare me over till another year?
So, are you gonna answer the question?
What question is that?
Jim Reed. Did you ever find it?
Reed was indeed that son bitch's surname. That's right, Ben. A despicable character. I remember him laughing like a hyena that cold morning they lynched me and my brothers. He was intent on avoiding my vengeance, but nothing was gonna stop me.
No.
Nothing.
Non. Hein? Frank James. Ok, alors lui, on va le bouillave. Bon alors attendez, parce que j'ai 2 points de compétence. Transporter encore plus de cartouches de carabine et d'explosifs. Ah oui. Ah ouais, c'est OP ça. D'arriver à recharger 2 cartouches à la fois au lieu d'une. Ah mais c'est pour le pompe. Ouais bon. Quoi oui. Voilà.
They had long rifles with scopes.
Ouais, ils sont stylés maintenant.
To pick off any poor soul who came anywhere close.
Du coup mes flingues font 30% de dégâts en plus là. Ce n'est pas négligeable. Aïe.
I'm guessing Frank James believed I was responsible for the demise of his brother Jesse. I couldn't really disagree with the man, as I thought Jesse was dead then as well. He backed off as I closed in on him, but he was still intent on killing me. Now when I closed in on him again, he backed off again, looking for a better angle on me. Hell, I can't fault Frank for wanting his revenge, as I was there for the same damn reason myself. At this point, I'm guessing you think Silas Greaves is a worse murderer than Jim Reed ever was.
Oui, bah voilà.
No, sir.
A man who spent half his life killing somebody's brothers, fathers, sons.
I think you were just looking for justice, sir.
Is that what I was looking for, Dwight? Is that what it was? Justice?
Isn't that why you were hunting the James gang?
Ok. Mais le mec, mais c'est une carabine ou une M4 qu'il a? Le mec il m'a enchaîné 2 balles d'un coup.
It was a pitched battle that could have gone either way. Luckily, I had some dynamite in my possession.
Dynamite? On your person?
A few sticks, just in case. It's always good to be prepared.
Right.
I'm just laying out the facts as I remember them, Jack.
Aïe. Ah merde. Ah oui voilà. J'ai plus de dynamite. Putain mais y a plus de dynamite. Ah si. Voilà.
That old shack? Well, it went tumbling right off that cliff.
With Frank James still in it?
Yes, sir.
But Frank James is still alive, living in Missouri, showing folks around the family farm for 25 cents a tour.
I didn't say he died in the fall, now did I?
Ah, forcément.
I'm done with this damnable outlaw life. Kill me, don't kill me, do what you will. At this point, I just don't give a shit. I explained to Frank that I had nothing against him personally and that I was looking for someone else. You want Reed? Have at him. I never did like that bastard. I am done here.
Oh.
We parted in peace as Frank pointed out the path to my prey before making his way back down the hill.
Merci à Wizoux. Merci beaucoup pour le resub. Dis-moi. Merci beaucoup, meuf. Ça vaut? Moula. Oh bah oui. Moula. Oula.
So, what happened with Reed?
Well, I finally found the last of the gang hiding in a nearby cave. First, I had to dispatch the lookouts. As I was determined not to let that murderer escape my revenge again.
Hey.
But rather than wander in willy-nilly, I decided it would be better to smoke that sumbitch out. Hey, Reed! I shouted. No wonder you're so ornery. Can't be easy being married to Belle Star while you're off providing for the family. She's spreading her legs for every Tom, Dick, and Cole Younger. Not an attractive woman exactly, but very friendly. At least she was to me.
Son of a bitch!
It was then that the last bunch of bandits jumped out of hiding.
Why won't this asshole give up? Would someone please kill him?
Mais... Eh oh! Voilà. Coucou Na! Ça vaut? Hein? What the fuck? Merci d'offrir un sub à Mike. What the fuck? Merci beaucoup. Putain, mais il y a du monde là. Je sais pas qui c'est, mais je donne. Bah super. Merci du coup.
Eventually, it was just me and Reed.
Ah bah putain. Oh non, il est chauve.
I waited a long time to face him down.
Ça veut dire qu'il est fort.
I could repay him for what he did to my brothers. And repay him.
Voilà. Pas de chance dans la vie. Et bah il est mort en plus. En vrai il y a des chauves. Attends, il y en a qui sont BG. Hein.
Well, I don't know about you boys, but I'm pretty bait.
Well, it's too damn bad you never found that Bob character. Seems a shame he never had to pay.
Well, funny thing about that, I did have one more chance at him.
Huh.
6 months ago, I heard that Butch and Sundance were back in the States and had gathered up some of their old gang. I tracked them down, hoping that Roscoe Bob Bryant had returned with them.
So you're saying they didn't die down in Bolivia?
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Oh oui, j'ai ce flingue.
40 years I had waited to get my hands on the last of my brother's killers. Not even an army of demons could have stopped me now.
Ok. Ça va? Ah mais il y en a deux. Mais...
Both Johnny Ringo and Jim Reed fell fairly quickly. But the last one,
D'accord.
Roscoe Bob Bryant.
Vous sortez d'où là?
Some bitch had managed to escape my vengeance time and time again.
Oui,
I
bon.
couldn't even be certain I'd recognize him after all those years. By now, he had to be close to 70.
Apparaître de nulle part.
For all you know, he could have been dead.
Très important. Ça c'est bien, je peux loot des dynamites
That
sur les
thought had
cadavres.
indeed crossed my mind, as did others. For instance, did my thirst for vengeance turn me into something worse than the man I was after? By this point in my storied career, I had killed more men than Bob Bryant ever had.
Wow.
Nothing
D'accord.
could stop me from taking his life. I'd been after that killer forever, from the time I rode with Billy the Kid. But that chapter of my story you already know.
Chapter of that fairy tale, you mean?
Suddenly, it was 1910. And there I was, an old man roaming a ghost town dead almost 2 decades.
Comment je passe? Je veux passer. Ah. Oh ouais.
The town was falling apart, just like me.
Stylé ça. D'accord.
But I wasn't about to call it quits.
Et vous kiffez vos games, hein?
Even though the ghosts of my dead brothers were begging me to end what I started so long ago.
Mr. Graves, are you all right? Would you like some water?
The Wild Bunch knew I was there. They were after a treasure they had hidden before they fled, buried in the grave of a dead amigo. I intended to fill that grave with Bob Bryant's corpse. But like I said, the bandits knew I was on to them. They lured me in and hit me with everything they had.
Putain. Mais... Ça sert à rien de monter. Ah si.
But you obviously prevailed since you sent me down.
Aïe.
Actually, in that moment, I did not prevail.
So I suppose we're talking to a ghost.
Funny you should put it like that, Jack.
Put that mad dog down.
Ouais. Ok.
Because when I woke up,
From the dead?
there was silence all around me. I could swear to God I saw Billy then.
Billy who?
Billy the Kid. William Bonney. He was shooting at me from a rooftop. Here and there. Even over there.
Oh merde. Mais one shot, mais d'accord. En fait, attends, faut que je check. Je pense que je peux vraiment plus prendre mon temps sur les QTE comme ça. je pense. Je peux plus bouger. Ah d'accord. D'accord.
So I am right. You are touched in the head.
Mr. Greaves, perhaps we should switch you to coffee?
You see that old Indian again, too?
No, but I did see Billy's killer.
Aïe.
Patrick Floyd Garrett. He came at me guns a-blazing.
Ah mais... Ah d'accord, c'est un
I knew
fantôme le
that
mec.
old war horse had died 2 years before.
Mais
I
fantôme
wondered
hein.
if maybe I was dead too and confronting the ghosts of my past. Perhaps all my sins were coming back to haunt me and drag me down to perdition.
Aïe.
I saw Henry Plummer throw dynamite at me.
Aïe. Laissez-moi.
And in the gates of the cemetery, I saw John
Aïe.
Wesley Hardin, just like I remembered him.
Ça fait mal. Mais putain. Mais wesh, ils sont vénères hein. Je les vois même pas en plus parce qu'ils ont une couleur Ils sont transparents en fait. Ok. Bon. Oula.
Robert Ollinger appeared with his terrible double-barrel shotgun. But no ghost army was stopping me.
Oui bon.
My father-in-law got hit with a fallen branch. He spent the rest of his life talking to dogs.
Newman Hayes Clanton, William Brocious, John Peters Ringo, they all wanted me dead.
C'est tous ceux qu'on a tués dans le jeu. Ces flingues ils font trop mal, hein, c'est une dinguerie. Aïe. Ouais, je peux prendre mon temps.
The Dalton brothers, Robert and Grattan, guardians
oui.
of the Garden of the Dead. George Curry and Harvey Logan, alias Kid Curry, both thirsty for vengeance from the great beyond. Jesse, Woodson, James, and Jim Reed, each one deader than the next. I thought I would go crazy.
Thought.
Putain mais en fait il y a aucune cover, c'est ça qui est horrible. Ouais.
Finally, I saw Harry Alonzo Longabaugh.
The Sundance Kid?
Like a general leading his Legion of the Dead.
Oh.
You told us before that you'd seen him alive.
He was alive.
Arrête.
heard a voice call to me from afar. It was Robert Leroy Parker, a.k.a.
Toujours
Butch
plus.
Cassidy, coming at me from out of the fog.
Toujours
Thanks for
plus.
taking care of that bastard.
Oh putain. Ah bon? Ah oui, d'accord.
But the kid
Encore un
wasn't
V2?
quite deceased. Not yet.
Takes more than one little bullet to kill the likes of me, partner.
Those two looked like they hadn't seen each other for quite a while. Clearly, they were no longer amigos.
Shit. I was hoping I wouldn't have to kill you.
You won't have to, Butch. I'm killing you first.
I asked them about Bob Bryant, but they were too busy with their own heated conversation.
Let me get this shit straight. You want my money and the love of my life?
You frittered it all away, Butch. Eda's mine. So is that damn money.
I didn't want to shoot anybody until I had an answer to my question, but those boys didn't give me much of a choice.
Adieu. Un duel à 3, utilisez AE pour vous focaliser sur l'ennemi qui vous regarde. Ah d'accord. Bah les deux me regardent donc GG. Ah. Mais what the fuck. Mais c'est horrible. Mais non mais frère. Bien sûr. Mais c'est horrible, c'est quoi cette mécanique? Faut que j'ai de la luck quoi. Oui, bien sûr. Mais wesh. Mais ils sont sérieux par contre? Je vais bien pas le faire à la loyale celui-là. C'est quoi cette merde? Ah, c'est horrible hein. C'est quoi cette merde? Qui a eu l'idée de faire ça? Comment ça je peux pas regarder les deux en même temps? C'est une dinguerie. En plus quand ils se regardent que eux. C'est bien de la merde hein. Je comprends pas en fait comment t'es censé faire. C'est... Ouais. Ah mais d'accord, oui bah... Oui, mais oui, mais d'accord. Ok, en fait je l'avais tué, mais il fallait que je switch manuellement. Mais non mais qui a eu l'idée de faire ça? Vraiment, c'est dégueulasse. Mais wesh. D'accord. Bah ça va être de la luck, hein. On va faire ça avec de la luck. Arrêtez. Bah oui. C'est bien. Là ils se regardent entre eux, du coup je peux pas stacker. Ouais. Putain, tout à l'heure je l'avais en plus. Mais je savais pas qu'il fallait switch manuellement, genre, c'est quoi cette merde? Une fois que le premier est mort, ça peut pas te switch directement vers l'autre, c'est... Non, tu dois le faire à la main. Surtout que c'est la première fois que la mécanique elle est comme ça. C'est abusé là, vraiment.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid died there in that cemetery not 6 months ago.
Mais plus vraiment, c'est quoi cette mécanique? C'était vraiment dégueulasse. Pour le coup là,
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid were killed by the Bolivian army. Everybody knows that.
That's the legend, but it ain't the truth.
So, you never found Bob?
There is no Bob. This old sumbitch ain't even Silas Greaves.
Sir, is that true? Have you been pulling our legs this whole time?
Well, not the whole time.
Oh man, I think you've worn out your welcome here.
Maybe you're right, Jack. Maybe it's time to pay. You see, Ben, or should I say Bob, your past always catches up with you.
I was a different man back then, crazy.
Drinking, I've changed my ways, I swear to you. If I could turn back the clock,
But you can't, Bob.
Duel contre Bob. Vengeance ou rédemption? What? Rédemption.
Why'd you toy with me like that? Telling those tales, knowing all along. Why not just lay your cards on the table?
Wanted to suss you out, Bob. See what kind of man you turned out to be. Maybe prod you into drawing on me. See, all those years on your trail turned me into a killer. Can't even remember who I was before you tried to murder me. You, on the other hand, walked that very same path in exactly the opposite direction.
What do you mean by that?
You think your life is worth sparing, Bob? Boy, what's your name again?
It's Eisenhower, sir. Dwight Eisenhower.
What do you plan to do with your life, Dwight Eisenhower?
Tomorrow I'll be leaving for West Point, sir.
So, you want to be a soldier? Well, then do it right, son. Don't tear down the world out of anger and spite like I did. You build it up. You do something decent with your life, you hear me?
Sir?
Nice.
Yes, sir.
I won't have it said I left you with nothing, Bob.
Parfait. C'est fini. Putain, 3h30 du coup. Oh, ils remettent ça? Ah oui.
Won't you spare